start the recording. Okay, so let me just show you how it would look like. Let's say I'll make it black and white. Now, if it's black and white, you see this, the yellow and the purple, the blue and the orange. So there is a difference between them, which makes it easier for people to recognize even if it is a black and white. So that helps out. Okay, now let's move forward. We'll go and talk about some 5 chart elements, which are very important when we go into the actual charts. I know a lot of people call it a lot of different things, but what we are going to do today is we are going to call them exactly the same words that Excel, PowerPoint, Word use as their names, so that it's uniform and it's easier. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about 5 different elements: access, title, legend, grid lines, and data table. This is a simple chart which I've made for you. Let's go and talk about each one of them separately. Now, this is an access, y-axis and x-axis, and once we go on to charts, we're going to talk about each one of them. This is basically a font, and you will treat it as text when we edit it. So this is called the x-axis. This is called the title, of course, no brainer. There are also axis titles. So a title coming here and title coming here is going to be called axis title, but this is the chart title. Legend is basically that thing which tells you what is what in the chart. So it gives you a basic direction within that. Every map has a legend. Every chart has, if it's multicolored, it should have a legend if the labels are not there. All right, let's go forward. Grid lines. Now you see these lines at the back, which now I have colored in red. There you go. These are called grid lines, and we are going to work on them. They are very, very important for a user. So we are going to touch base on them when we go into making the charts. And then finally, data labels. You see these 9, 7, 10. These are labels given to that data, and these are called data labels. So everybody okay with the 5 things? Can we move on, please? Raise your hands. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Now, by this time, I'm hoping that you have all opened up your example file attached on the invite today. So I'll just introduce you to the 5 charts, and then we'll go into the details of each one of them. So line chart is basically meant for trends. So a trend going in a month, in a timeline. It could be a trend going in sequence. So this is sales and this is months. So this makes sense. And if your data has smaller changes, so 30 to 60 to, these are smaller changes as opposed to 30 to 5,000, big changes. So if your data has smaller changes, we usually go with the trend line. It really helps the user understand what the trend is going on. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please open your Excel file, and I will bring that onto my screen. If you have it open, give me a thumbs up so I know we are ready to go. Give me, oh, sorry, hand raised. I keep doing Teams meeting and Zoom meeting, so it just gets confusing. Okay, please raise your hand and keep it raised if you have your Excel file open. I'll just wait for a few more seconds so that we have most of the people online. You with us? A few more, please. Raise your hand. Don't be lazy. Just want to make sure we're taking everybody along with us. Do not lower your hands. I will lower it for you. Thank you. Let's get started. So let's start off. Please come on to line charts here. You have line chart, column chart, bar chart, pie, and radar. Come on to the line chart, and we're going to do chart number 1. So first off, this is your months. This is your, let's say, sales of 2021. Now we're going to incorporate a line chart. Very simple. You just select the data, including the months. And so you select everything, and you go into insert, and you can go into recommended charts, or you can go straight into line charts here. Okay, now last time around, if you remember, we used the shortcut Alt F1. So I've selected the data. I'm going to go Alt F1, and here you go. It's already giving me a bar chart. This is not a line chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it, change chart type. So you see this, nothing on here which says chart design. I select this chart, and immediately a chart design comes up. I will select change data chart type, and I will select the line. And okay, now I have a line chart here, everyone. Did everyone get that with me? Easy? We're going to go from easy to a slightly difficult version of things. Okay, now please raise your hand if you've done this. Everybody with me, raise your hand, keep it raised. Perfect. Okay, let's move a little faster now. So we have our chart here, 2021, it's taking from here. So if this was, let's say, sales, it will auto update it here, sales. Now we are looking at this, we have the x-axis, y-axis, and here. We will edit. I'm going to talk about the edit on how it looks like later on, but let's just go and do the same thing with chart number 2. So these are two figures of rep 1 and rep 2. If you can select the entire data and just go on to insert, and you can click on line chart and go in line chart. So we've done it from here. There you go. So everyone with me so far? Okay. All right. So I'm going to just make a few changes here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Now, everyone, what I've done is I'm going to click on a line. So select a line, select the orange line, right click on it, and let's say click on the brush. Sorry. Nope. See, I will go into format. Yeah, so if you can go into format, right, I'll take you from the beginning. Okay, so just select the orange line, right click on it, format the data series. Now here you will see the bucket. Please go onto the bucket, and right at the bottom of the bucket, smooth line. See that? See, the orange line has now smoothened out. Looks better. Doesn't it look better? Right, so we're going to smoothen it out. Again, I would repeat, select the blue line first. See, the blue line is selected. Right click on it, format data series. On the data series, you will see the bucket. Please go there. And right at the bottom, click on smooth line. Now, you can cross it out. Now, I want you to have a look at it. See the two things? This one is like really stiff, and this one goes like a trend. Nice little trend showing around. So how many of you are able to do that? If you are, please raise your hands. So I would know if we can move forward. Okay. All right, just one more time. I will repeat it. Just have a look at the screen, please, first, and you can try it out later. So I will change this into smooth. How do I do that? I just click on the chart first. I select the line first, second, then I right click, format data series. In the format data series on your right side, I'll select the bucket. And right at the bottom, I will click on smooth line. Now the line is smooth, right? Now, please keep your hands raised. Those of you who have already raised it, and those of you who got it, could you please raise your hands and let me know if you've understood this part? Perfect. Thank you very much. I'll lower your hands and let's move forward. So now, if you look at chart number 2, we have these different directions going on. Now, the chart title isn't there because it didn't pick it up. So what we do is it got confused. It basically said, hey, which one is the chart title? So we can actually click here and double click inside this and do whatever we want. Okay, we can put the chart title here. Whatever you want, just put it here. Okay, now let's do this one, chart 3 quickly. Let's select the entire data. Insert, line chart, right here. Now, here's a question for you. Instead of me, let's see if this works. Okay, I don't know if it'll work, but let's see if it works. Alt SNT. There you go. Okay, it works. So here you go. Now, instead of me going into these lines and really making them rounded one by one, I can have this thing opened up. So I'll click one line, format data series, go into the bucket. Now this bucket is open, smooth line. Now watch this. I don't have to do the whole thing again. I can keep selecting the other line, smooth line. Keep selecting the other line, smooth line, and gray line now, smooth line. So everything is selected and everything is colored in a different color. Yeah. Everyone good so far? Now let's talk about the looks. Let's go into this one and let's talk about this. Now here, your job is to not confuse people. Your job is not to impress people as well. So let's make this sales rep 1 and 2. Okay, your job is to make sure that the reader and the user understands it at the end. Now, what if this is the legend, if you remember, what if I want the legend on the right side? Now, how do I do this? No ribbon on the top saying chart right here. I select it, it comes automatically. Chart design. I go into chart design. I go into add element on the right side. So all of your elements are right here. We discussed the top 5 most used elements. You will go into legend because this is a legend. You go into legend and you can have the right side, top side, left side, whichever one you like. At this point in time, I would go with the top one because I like it. I can go in this one. Now, second thing, if you want to change colors of it, if you don't like the blue and you want to change it, right? So if I can select the blue line, it will not select first. So there are 2 clicks. So remember, first you select the chart, then you select the line. Okay, so let's say I select the line, come back again, select the chart and select the line. Now it's selected. The blue line is selected. All I have to do is go into format. This is a line, so shape outline. Okay, this one I can change the color. So let's say I want yellow, I want green, light green. There you go. Done. Easy. If I want this to be thicker, select it again, outline, weight, and make it thicker, as thick as you want. Don't leave it thinner. Thinner is not good. Thick is good because it's more visual. Okay, but if you've made this thick, you might want to make this thick as well. So click here, go into format, shape outline, weight, and make it thicker. Now you have, everyone can see on the screen what is going on between the 2 reps and the comparison. So rep 2 was doing bad, he was doing good, then they were together for the 2 months, then blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Everybody good with this? Please raise your hands and we can go forward. Perfect, thank you. Now there are a few things that I want to talk about. You see the grid lines? It takes a little playing around to select the grid lines. So first you select the chart, then you take your mouse on top of these lines. So see this cross, cross and arrow, cross, cross, arrow, just select the grid line. See this? Now you have the grid line selected. So ladies and gentlemen, the best practice today is to make these grid lines. So you've selected the grid lines, go into format, go into outline, make these grid lines as light as possible. Because if you make them darker, let's say this one, it's super confusing. There are so many lines. People are confused. Just a side note, if you're wearing checks, gentlemen, if you're wearing checkered shirts during presentation, you're confusing people. Visually, people are getting confused by looking at you. Okay, same option here. If you are putting lines, you're confusing people. Okay, so the idea is to, yes, give them a line to let them know where, but also make it super light so as to keep it visible, but not overpowering these lines. Everybody happy with that? In agreement? Quite a lot of agreement. Okay. Now, let me see if I suppose, for example, sometimes your computer plays up and you get something like this. So your Jan, Feb, March are really small. What do? Select the chart, select the axis, it selects, and simply just increase your font size. That's it. As simple as that. Make it bolder. Same goes for this. Select your axis, make it bolder. Whatever you want. Okay. The idea is to make it simple and make it easily legible, easy to understand, telling a story, and with different colors, no confusion whatsoever. Okay, so we've spent quite a bit of time in the formatting bit. So this is going to come in handy when we move on to the next charts. So let's go on to the next chart. So let's try to fix this quickly. Okay, you see this now, it's jumbled up. I don't like it. So what do I do? Well, there are a couple of things I can do. Firstly, let's say I don't want this. I'll just delete it out. So what I did was I just selected the chart and I pressed delete on my keyboard. It's gone. But I don't like it because I like some margin around here. So let's just do it. Firstly, let me get rid of the grid lines and make them really light, as I told you. Now, the grid lines are lighter or almost gone. Shouldn't be gone completely. Let me do this again. Should be slightly grayish. There you go. They're there. So less confusion. Okay. That was more confusion. This is less confusion. Now the colors are quite, going against each other. So that's fine. And I can also break it up into two. Nothing is stopping you from doing that. So the best thing of having, instead of doing 1 or 2, 3, 4, you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 separately. Or if I have lots of these, I might not even use a line chart for that, because line charts are column charts are better at comparisons. So I might even go with a column chart for that. Okay. Now these are the best charts for comparisons. You're comparing the things, and if there are larger changes, then you can make those changes very obvious in the column chart. So let's move on to our Excel again, and this time go to the second tab, which is called the column chart. We have this data here. So we have chart number 4. We have 2 reps and their sales figures. And then we have chart number 5 with 2 reps and 2 years of their comparisons. So let's start off with this one. Select the data, please, insert, and we will go this time to this chart, column or bar chart. So we'll click here and we'll select the first one. Remember, we're not going into a 3-dimensional chart. It is hideous. It is not going to work. We're going to go in the first one. Now, you need to remember that there are 3 types of column charts. One is the clustered, second is the stacked, and the third one is a percentage stacked. Okay, I'll tell you the differences between all of them. Now, let's look at the first one. We have a chart here. Here you go. Looks good. Easy to read, easy to understand, and you can place it here. Now, again, similarly, I'm going to reduce the grid lines to light gray, make it easier to read. Now, what I do with my charts usually, and what I've learned by listening and watching a lot of presentations globally, is I would go and add a new element to this. Okay, so if I'm showing this on PowerPoint, I would add another element to this. What I will do is, let me just make it here, and then I'll add that element here. So let me put a chart here. Everyone together, let's select this chart 5 data and insert bar chart number 1, select it, and there you go. So you have a very noisy looking chart here. Each rep has a different color, and you can go here. Now, this is showing month by month, Jan, Feb, March, April, May, and this is showing rep by rep in the month. Now, imagine if I select this and I go into chart design and I say switch row and column. Watch this. Now what it's doing is basically it's saying, okay, instead of January, February on the x-axis, I'm going to take rep 1 2020, rep 1 2021, rep 2 2020, and rep 2 2021. I'll take it this way. Again, I would have preferred the other ones. I'll go back. This is better. Now, how do I make it a little less noisier? We just first fix the lines. Okay. Right. Now, sometimes when data is like this, what I usually do is I go, and here's what we find out, the chart design, and go into change chart type. Now here, remember we spoke about the clustered and the stacked. So let's try it now. So let's look at the stacked ones. Okay. Now here you can see it's a little more legible. Now you can see that months are separated. It's easy to see. You can see that the blue one is rep 1, and then so on and so forth. So now if you want to add labels to it, data labels, Easy. I want to, because this is too close, right? I mean, which one did better, yellow or gray? I want to know that. So let's see, let's zoom in, and I want to add data labels. What will I do? I will select the chart, go into chart design, add element, data labels, and I will add maybe inside. Okay, I'm not getting what I want. So I want percentages. I don't want the numbers. It's too noisy if I go in the numbers. Look at here. If I add the data labels, look, it's getting too noisy, too much happening there. I do want to see a percentage there, within that year, within that month. So what do? I click on more data label options. And here I should get percentage. It's not showing. Okay. All right. No worries. So I will leave it there. We'll figure that out in the pie chart. Okay. So no data options for me. Let's try something else. So I will go into elements, data labels, and none. So all data labels are gone. Data labels, none. Done. So now let's see if I can get something else. The other thing I was talking about in such charts where I cannot put percentages, what I usually like doing is, what I've seen having done is, I can go into, here you go, data table, and I will add the data table right at the bottom with legend, without legend. Here you go. Look at this. Now this is an independent looking chart. And not only do you get the bars, but you also get the numbers at the bottom. So if I wanted to check, hey, yellow, 96, gray, 91, yellow is more. Easy. Everyone with me so far, please raise your hands. I'll just quickly repeat. Oh no, most of you are with me. So if anyone who missed out on what I said, don't worry about it. I'll send you the recording. You can always go back, have a look at it, and work it out. What I just did was I changed this chart. I'll quickly do it again. Just watch, please. I selected the data. I went insert. I went into chart. I went into, instead of this one, I went into stacked. I selected the stack chart. So I have a good one here. Now I want the table at the bottom. So when I take this chart to PowerPoint, the table goes along with it. So what do? I go into elements. I add data table, and with legend means with the color, with this color option, and without legend means no color. I'll add with the legend. Now, if I have added this, then this is redundant. This legend is redundant now. So I can remove it by going here and legend, and I want none. So I'll make more space for myself. Okay. Everyone good with this? Can we move forward, please? Thank you. All right. Okay, Julios, let's go forward. Bar chart. Now, bar chart is like a brother to the column chart. What is the bar chart like? So bar charts are basically horizontal charts. Same thing, just sideways. Now, column charts are for smaller variations, not medium variations, but bar charts are for larger variations. So the biggest one, the smallest one has a big variance between them. I'll show you an example. Let's go into the Excel file and let's look at the bar chart number 6, please. Everyone who has opened up chart number 6, raise your hand so I know you are with me and we can go along fairly quickly on that. Okay, so now before you do anything on your chart, just have a look at my screen. If you notice that I have these 4 items highlighted, what I've done is I've really exaggerated these amounts. So there's 88,000, 37, 50,000, 173,000, 387. So quite exorbitant amount. What I wanted to do was increase the variation of this. So I will select this. Now let's insert a column chart, simple column chart. Now you look here, this one has become really small. And now if I have a slide which looks exactly in this dimension, your slides are 16 by 9. It doesn't really look that fascinating because September is completely hidden. So what do? Instead of using this format, I change the data, change the chart type, and I go into bar chart and I select this one. and display it this way. So what happens is now you see the items are slightly much more bigger, and we can also do this in reverse. You can go here, format axis. Now you see here is December to January. I can make it go January to December. And how do I do that? I will go here, categories in reverse order, click here, done, easy, January to December. Okay. So you've sort of caught up on a few things. Now bar charts are the ones with the biggest variations. That's it. That's the only difference. If I wanted to use this as a stacked version, it would have been too big. So I'm not going to use that, but this one is the better display. Again, grid lines, I can select the grid lines, format, and make it lighter. So you can see the grid lines, but you can't see the grid lines. If I want to make this bigger, axis, select the axis, please. Home, increase the size, make it bolder. Okay. If I want this, I can make it bolder. Now, let's say I want to add numbers in front of it. I want to add numbers in front of it. What do? These are numbers are going to be called data labels. Here's what you're going to learn a new trick, maybe. Okay. If you don't already know, I will insert the elements called data labels, and I will say outside. There you go. But that's not what I wanted to let you know. The new thing here, if you don't already know, is that when we have put these numbers in, we will simply remove this axis because it's not needed. It's redundant. 807, I already have 807 here. This is redundant. I will remove it. Now it makes a little more space. Now, if you want to make it much more cleaner and you want to have distance between these two, that can also be done. Okay, easy. How do you do that? You can simply go into format chart area, and let's see, it's going to be here somewhere. Go, width is here, join type is round, rounded corners, text option. I don't work on this too much, so it takes me a while to get back to it, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere here. Okay, you would be able to find it somewhere here. If anyone knows, please feel free to comment on the question and answer session part, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere here to increase the gap between these two. Okay. All right, I'll find it out for you, and I will. Oh, wait, here it is. So the gap, let's see this gap. Does this work? Secondary axis, primary axis. No, it does not. Okay, no worries. Okay, I will get back to you with this answer, but it would really be helpful to have this separate. Otherwise, I will just drag this out and make a slight bit of space here. Like this. Again, it looks a little dodgy, but best option would be to have spaces between the chart, these two lines. Okay, all good. Let's move forward and let's look at the donut and pie chart. Everyone with me so far? Perfect. Let's go forward. So pie chart and donut chart. Now these are, this is a pie chart, so it's a complete circle. A donut chart is one without the circle in the middle. Yeah, so pie charts are basically, and donut charts are basically there to compare parts of whole. So parts of whole is you complete the whole thing and you as 100%, and then you say, hey, this much percentage was that. They do not show changes between over a period of time. So let's look at it. Go into Excel file, please, and go into your fourth tab, chart number 7. Here we have these businesses and we have the freight cost right here. We're going to create a pie chart. Select the data, please. Insert pie chart. Let's click here, select the first one. Okay, now here you go. You have a freight cost. Now we're going to play around here a little bit. Okay, what do? These are different colors. Now I don't think Cram will be happy with the orange, so we'll change this into red. How do we do that? Very simple. I will select the data, then I'll select it again. As you can see, now only the orange one is selected, not the red, not the remaining one. See these three dots? So now I can go into format, select the bucket, and click red. So now CRAM people are happy with the red. CBC is yellow. I'll go into CBC and select yellow. BSC would like to be red also. I'll give them dark red. HS is okay. SW would like dark blue, so I'll give them dark blue. And this is Seal Innovations. Seal Innovations would like light blue. Perfect. So now the colors look good. I'm happy with that, but I'm still not happy because I'm not getting the percentage. First of all, let me show you what I mean by percentages. Now, if I just look at the screen, please, if I just total it, which I'll do on AutoSum, and if I do a percentage of it, so this divided by the total, you see this? Now this is 3%. So AIP is 3% of the total. That means this is showing as 3%. Okay, so this is the whole idea behind showing a pie chart. It shows as a percentage of the whole. So let me select the chart, go into chart design. I want to make a few changes here. I want to add the percentages. So remember the percentages. So I'll add more data label options. And I will go into text. Wait, let me just go back. Add chart element, data label, and more options. And I will select percentage right here. Reduce the value. Now I have just percentages, and I can also go series name, category name, sorry. So now I have category name, which is the company name, and the percentage in front of them. I will do this again for you. Do not worry. Okay, let me do it from the top. So I have nothing here. There you go, simple chart. I will select it. I'll go into add chart labels, legend, data labels, and I will say more data labels. When this thing opens up on the side, I will select percentage. I will remove the value. See, the changes are happening. Remove the value. I will add the category name. So now the business name is there, the percentage is there. I'm happy. I'm still not satisfied though, but I'm okay. So now what do? I need to edit it. I have them, I'll select all of them together. Just click on one and you've selected all of them together. I'll go into format and my text is going to be white. So now I'm slightly happier. I'm not happy with CBC because it's yellow and white. Doesn't look that that great. So what I'll do is I'll select once and I'll select it again. Now I've just selected CBC 2 times, okay? And I will just convert this into black. So CBC is black. I will do the same with Seal Innovations, black, and everyone else is white. It's really nice looking at it this way. Do I need this now? I don't. I will select the legend and delete it. So the best way to show a pie chart is this. Now AIP is crammed here. If I wanted, I would double click, select AIP and drag it from the corner and right outside and make it black. So you see here, if there are going to be some numbers which are really small and you just want to take them out, drag them out, make sure you select them and invert the colors so that they stand out. Okay, so everyone good with this? Please raise your hand. We have done a pie chart and we'll quickly do a donut chart and move forward. Perfect. Thank you. Let's move forward quickly and let's do a donut chart with this. So now a pie chart cannot do two categories. So if we were to do pie chart here, it would not do it because there are 2 options. It would get confused. This is where the donut chart comes in. If you select the entire thing, insert, go into the pie chart or donut chart and select the donut chart. Now you see the beautiful part is the inside one here is 2020, 2021 is 2020 is inside, and if you select 2021, it's outside. So outside is 2021. You can do the whole thing again. You can go into add elements, data labels, and you can go into more options, whereas you go text, percentage, category name, remove the values, all of that, and you just take it outside. all of this one by one. I know it's hard work, but if you remove these again, it's okay. It makes sense. And you can add a legend to it, whatever makes sense to you at that point in time. So this one is making more sense to me now. Here you go. You can add this there as well. Okay. Now, if you have a black background, Excel also gives you this option. I tend not to use it. White background is always good, but you can choose to use it as well. Excel also gives you other options, all of these different options. You can try using them, but sometimes more often than not, this looks good, but sometimes I don't like stuff. So I just tend to go on my way and do it my stuff. Perfect. Everyone happy with that? Let's move on quickly to the last one. Everyone happy with that? Raise your hands quickly, please. Thank you. And let's talk about the spider chart. Now, spider chart, thank you very much. Spider chart is comparing five or more things, comparing them. So for example, we have hydraulics, chains, belts, O-rings, fasteners. This was the budget. This is the sales. So we're just going to compare quota to sales. And as you can see, there are different quotas. It's not same. Now I'll select all of this and I'll go into insert. I'll go into recommended charts, all charts, and go into radar. Select OK. Now, if you see here, this is called a radar. What it basically means is that let me just reduce the lines. As I said, the grid lines, so these are the grid lines. I will reduce it now. So it's now very simple. My blue is my quota and my orange is my sales. So O-ring is meeting the sales, bearing is far away, chains is the farthest from quota, and hydraulics is also far. So I can remove my excess. So there you go. It's much more visible now. I can add an element to it, which is chart labels. There you go. So my 50,000 to 8,014 is the biggest difference. So basically it tends to compare what was and what is, or what between two things. Okay, I'm going to delete it now. Everyone okay with that? We're just going to do a slightly bit more complicated version of the spider chart. Thank you. Now, spider chart, let's say these are your leadership skills, 15 of them. This is your score you got on these. So we did a survey. Okay, so you got these scores on your leadership survey from your team. Now let's say we did it again this year, and this is the score you got this year. So we have 15 elements. Let's see how radars is the best way to show this. How do we do this? Insert, recommended charts, all charts, radar, and I will select this one, the second one. Okay, and there you go. We have a chart. If you notice, if my decision making, 2021, my decision making has gone better. My conflict resolution was not good. It's not better now. My sharing a compelling vision was better. Now it's gone worse. You see that? This is a very simplistic version of looking at it. Basically, I need to make it bigger and I need to be better than last year. As simple as that. Everyone happy with that? I'll show you again how I did it, how I created this. I selected the data. I went into insert. I went into recommended charts, all charts, radar, select the second one. Do not select the first one, select the second one. Okay. And there you go. You have this right here and you can play with it. You can play with the grid lines. As I said before, in this chart, you have grid lines like this. It's really good to just show what was happening, what is happening now. So where are we getting better? Where are we getting worse? Or where are the edges that we need to really improve on? Okay, so social intelligence, we were never good. We haven't gotten better. So we need to really work on our social intelligence. That's it. That's what this chart makes a meaning. Okay. Right, so we have done radar charts and we have done this. So now shortcut of the month, everyone, the shortcut is very simple. It's not very, very simple. This is a slightly more complicated than what we usually have. It's a tradition one, non-tradition one, sorry. Alt, E, after this S and after this T. What do I mean by after this? Watch, please. I will open up the Excel file. Let's go into line chart. So let's say I have this chart. Okay, this is my chart. And let me just let me remove everything. Just watch on the screen, please. It's easier if you watch it instead of doing it with me this time. I will improve this. Okay. So let's say I have this chart and I have this chart. I have already put in my time and effort in formatting this chart, and I want this chart to look like exactly this. What do? I press on the first chart, which I want to be copied on, Control C. So I've copied it, copy this. Then I go into this chart and I press Alt E, Alter and E together. I leave both the keys, and then in sequence, I press S and T and enter. Okay. Control C, then go on to the new chart, Alt E together, then S, then T, then enter. And then you will get the exact same chart in the exact same sort of, the formatting is going to be exactly the same. Easy? Everyone got this? Raise your hands, please, if you got this. Beautiful, smart, intelligent crowd. Closing, we have done the basics. We did the dimensions, the colors, the elements, 5 elements we talked about. We did the line chart, the column chart, the bar chart, the donut chart, and the radar. We introduced you the Alt E first, and then S and T and enter. This is copy the formatting of the chart. Please remember, your job is not to impress, but make meaning. So please put one chart on every slide. Just one last thing that I want to show you is that if this is my PowerPoint, I'll just bring my PowerPoint in. Okay. Now, sometimes you bring in your chart. So let's say this is a new slide. I'll make it blank. So I have a blank slide and I'm bringing this chart from Excel here. Sometimes what it happens is I copy it and I paste it. Sometimes the color changes. If you don't want the color to change, there's a trick to that. Just do this. The trick to that is right click. You see this? Use this option. Do not use the paste, use this option. So what it'll do is it'll paste exactly the same colors. So that's another trick that you can use. And please, if I was presenting, I wouldn't have more than one chart on each slide because each slide costs nothing. I can work on charts in PowerPoint the same way I can work on Excel. So it's just exactly the same. You can use the same charts and work everywhere in the same way because essentially Microsoft talks to each other. Okay, so whatever I was doing there, I could do it here. Look how beautiful this chart looks like. Okay, no confusion, beginning and end, looks good. Colors are different. I can see and not see the grid lines and all is there. Everyone happy with that? Please give me a thumbs up. Perfect. All right. So now what we have done these things. The video will be uploaded on SharePoint and you will be given a copy of it. It will be sent across to you. I'm just gonna put up a poll here. If you can let us know how we did. And what I will do is, Ross has already answered the question. So I will send a clip of how to have these gaps between the two columns and the bar charts that we promised you. We're going to get it to you, but hopefully this session has been of advantage to you. Make your slides look better, make your charts look cleaner, make point, no, not impress. People are going to make meaning out of it and they're going to be impressed themselves in any way. Okay. All right. You have a nice week, remaining of the week, and I will see you guys when I see you. And again, Eid Mubarak to all those who are celebrating. Have a good one. Goodbye.